There. Now they can hear us.
Oh,
We're
goodness.
here. We're here. The
Say-
question.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I'm
Let's
saying
go.
it may not be a bad thing since I'm talking about lizard people.
Okay. Anyway, going back to that. Yes. Would you take an alien to live with you in a day? And I do have to say, if it was a Mork and Mindy situation, Mork from Ork would be funny.
I don't even know who Mork and
I
Mindy are.
miss. That's because you're young.
Yeah.
I miss Robin Williams. Just now we're talking about
we
this
talk
the
about
other
that
day.
all the
Robin
time.
Doubtfire,
Williams.
Mrs. Doubtfire.
That's who Robin
Yes.
Williams is, but he also played an alien in Mork and Mindy.
Yeah.
And so this was an alien who came to Earth and lived and tried to, acclimate to people.
Now
And
this is cool.
He's hilarious.
Yes, exactly. And I
And
thought
miss him.
very much so. I'm with you, very much so. And this was cool because I seen in an interview with him, someone asked, does your mind, are you like, have they diagnosed you? Like, do you think like seconds before a normal mind? Your brain, does it fire like 3 seconds
Is your brain
before?
normal?
Yeah. Or does it like fire 3 seconds before normal brains? Because you think
Right.
about that. I mean, like any situation, like they said, like anytime you went to see him, like when he'd put on, a show, like he never did the same show.
Yeah,
Like,
he
was
was a genius.
Yeah. And so like for him to just sit here and just start firing things off like that I thought that was, he's laughed whenever he didn't answer it. He just laughed because I guess he was never, but like something had to trigger for somebody to be that fast, that quick.
I was watching his the flag. He did like a bit where he was the American flag.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh, I'm like, there is no way. Even listening to him, it's like there's no way you had this scripted out. You are literally pulling this out of your brain as you were going.
Yeah. So it has to be, his brain had to go like, fire like seconds before, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just quick firing on that. I was just thinking like if you go to interview him, because I interview a lot of people, I think that.
Did you get to interview him?
No, but if I
would have,
if I would have, I don't know that I could have made it through it. I probably would be laughing. I probably would have.
I think that's the best interview.
I know. I just think I would have just sat there and let him go to it.
Like, just here.
You do your
you
thing.
Just do it.
You do your thing.
I'm just gonna watch.
I'm just gonna.
questions.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
And he probably could have.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like, I mean, he was that versatile.
Absolutely.
He probably could have.
Yeah.
I do miss him.
I miss
I
him
did
too.
watch his videos,
That's
his movies.
funny. I just was thinking about that the other day. I miss him too. Legal drinking age day. So anyone 21, just be safe, be careful.
Be safe, be careful. Yeah.
National Be Someone Day. I think everyone is someone, right? National Junk Food Day. Okay, so I called the office and hey girls, I'm going to bring you some junk food. What would I bring you? Lisa, what would you want?
Junk food. Let's talk about what details junk food. Like, what is the definition of junk food? Is it just sugary processed stuff, or is it like convenient grabbing it? Like, what is junk food? This is my question.
I don't know. I guess whatever you feel is junky to put in your own body, right? In one's own body, right?
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm asking.
I don't.
Because sometimes you think, oh, well, chips are junk food. Well, chips are a staple in my house. So are they really junk food? Because
like Cheetos.
I love Cheetos.
You like the spicy Cheetos?
Yeah, with milk.
That is such a weird
Wait, what?
combination.
No, hold on. Never heard that one. What now?
Yes. Like
You pour a glass of milk.
Yeah. I don't like put them in there though.
No, but you pour a glass of milk.
It helps kill the burn, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're eating a bag of.
I honestly hate like hot stuff, but I'll eat flaming hot Cheetos if I have milk.
I'm a lemon Oreo with milk.
Yeah.
I've never
never
had.
had
I've
lemon
seen them, but I've
Oreos.
never had one. Are
Well,
they delicious? I bet they are.
Yes, anything lemon is delicious.
Yeah.
But then I tell myself it's lemon, so it's a fruit. Is it really junk food?
No.
No, it's gotta be good. It's gotta be good for you. Yeah.
I mean, it's lemon.
It's
Yeah.
lemon.
I don't know what I would even. I don't. I guess I don't know what I'd classify
Yours
as
is
junk
caramel corn.
food. Yeah,
Caramel
That's
popcorn,
horrible.
That's yours.
man, that's my. Or peanut M&Ms.
Yeah.
And I was doing so good. I went back off the wagon. What do they call it when you're off the wagon, or when you what is
My
it?
wagon rolled down the hill and was on fire. Wait a minute.
You know how like you're
Fall
doing
off the wagon.
like I was doing really good. You know what I mean? And then once I start getting into them, then it's like
Fell off.
yeah, I
And
fell
the
off.
wagon-
You
the
fall
wagon
off the
rolled
wagon when you go back into something that you tried to avoid. It's called
Yeah.
falling off the wagon, right?
You ever wonder where those phrases come from?
No, and that's the thing. We talked about that the other day. They like there's actually true meanings. Like when you go back to these,
Right, where they come
there's-
from
yes.
and why it is what it is.
Yeah.
But as times change and the English language change, sometimes we say things that don't make sense anymore.
now you got me thinking about caramel corn.
Oh,
I know now. Oh man,
I'm sorry.
woke up this morning thinking other thoughts, and now it's on caramel corn.
I think
Yeah.
thoughts.
No, it's because it's National Junk Food Day.
Yeah, National Junk Food Day. Are you looking it up?
I am.
This is also National Tug of War Tournament Day. I love a good game of tug of war. And the secret to winning, okay? Do you guys know the secret? You get the person that is like the strongest, and you get them on the very back.
Yes.
You get them on the very back.
They're your anchor.
Yes, your anchor. Get your anchor and
Yes.
have them on the back. And I mean, they will pull and pull and pull. I'm kind of I used to play tug of war a lot.
Were you the anchor?
No, I'm not the
No.
anchor. No, I'm
She's
not.
like the cheerleader. Up there. Come on, guys, pull
Yes.
back there. Come on.
I try to just, try to be there somewhere in that middle. You know what I mean?
Oh,
I'm not, yeah. I would
You
love
get
to
the
have that
guns
role.
out, but not all the way. out.
Yeah.
Justin's always the anchor.
Oh, why does that not
Could see
surprise
that.
me? Yeah, I would have him as the anchor for sure. What's that meaning come from?
Okay, well, I'll tell you what this meaning comes
Oh,
from.
gosh, do you
So,
want to know?
Yeah.
during the time of Prohibition,
I knew it was going back to that. Yeah.
during the time of Prohibition, they used to have wagons full of water that they would spray to keep the dust down. So if you were on the wagon, you were giving up. I don't know how it went from one to the other, but you were on the wagon because you were giving up alcohol. So if you went back to drinking, then you fell off the wagon and you were drinking again. So now it has been changed to any time you go back to a bad habit, you have fallen off the wagon.
Okay. Peanut M&Ms.
Yeah. So there you go.
But
Now
you think
know.
about that. If you actually were drinking and you were, and you were driving that wagon, can you imagine how crooked the road would be? I mean, how
Yes.
crooked your water would be. Somebody is drinking on that wagon. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's pretty cool.
And
Okay.
everybody be falling off because they're
That's
driving.
right.
Take a monkey to lunch day. Anybody want to ever have a pet monkey?
I did actually want to have a pet monkey. I thought that would be fun.
Yeah. Did you want one of the big ones like a chimpanzee
No,
or a
no,
orangutan?
no. Give me a
There
spider
was one
monkey.
in Pekin.
There was on the front porch, and he'd stand there and he'd throw stuff at people.
Yes.
They kept
like
him in a
right
cage.
in downtown Pekin.
Mhm.
Oh.
I remember as a kid being like so concerned.
Not me. I remember being a kid running down the street seeing if it could hit me.
No.
Because it would throw. What would it throw?
It's
Oh.
poop.
Anything.
Oh
Yeah.
no!
it's poop.
Oh yeah, I think they do that. Yeah. All right, so there we go. So get out and enjoy
You wanted
for
to
sure.
be hit by the poop?
No, I did not want to be hit, but it was a challenge to see if it could.
That's hilarious. That's
Um,
funny.
Anyway.
Now there actually was one in Salem too. There was another one, and maybe it was the same person because they actually.
I would love to have a spider monkey, and I wonder what you would have to do to get a spider monkey. Like, do you have to
Every
have
time I hear
permits?
Spider Monkey, I think of Talladega Nights or whatever.
I
Yeah.
did actually see that movie.
Yeah, I knew Ricky Bobby in it. Yeah,
And I
Remember to see
really,
the
I'm not a
Spider-Man
fan of Will
films.
Ferrell, so I don't know why I watched that movie.
you don't
He is not my favorite now. Nah.
Land of the Lost. Have you not seen that?
Nope.
Okay.
Nah, he's not my favorite actor. I will say
Okay.
that.
Aw.
I don't like stupid.
Did you ever
funny.
see his skit whenever he Saturday Night Live when Need More Bell?
No,
Okay. All right.
no.
Okay.
If you could have one pet, what would it be though? Really,
Ooh,
any pet in the world, what would it be?
I love horses.
That would be your pet?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a little boring, Becky.
I know. I
mean-
I know. I learn that every time I give blood that I'm boring. I don't have it. Do you, go across this state? Do you go?
Oh no, I know that.
Remember I told
That's
you.
kind of sad when I have to answer those questionnaires.
And it's
It's
always
like,
no.
no, I haven't been to Europe this year.
Yeah, I
Thanks
know.
for reminding
Yes,
me.
I know. Every time I give blood, I'm like, I am so boring.
Yeah, any animal in the world,
What would you pick, Autumn?
probably a black panther.
Ooh.
I mean, why not? They're sleek, they're
Mm-hmm.
sassy. Although they are feline, so they'll probably plot my demise. But
They would what?
plot my demise. All cats plot your demise.
What's that mean?
They plan to kill you.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of cats, but I would do a black panther.
What about I was gonna say you'd be almost like a Jasmine. Remember her with the tiger?
She did have a tiger.
Yeah, which was really cool, and the tiger loved her, so that's pretty cool.
I would probably
Can we-
want a
what would you-
gorilla as long as it was nice to me.
A gorilla, love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they can like
Orangutan.
walk and everything with you and probably
Yeah.
swing. I don't know. It'd just be fun.
That's great.
That's wonderful. Well, all three of us have different. Yeah.
I might want a hyena. I mean, I
What
just,
would you do to
laugh.
hyena?
they make me laugh.
Yeah. Goofy.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel
Maybe.
like a gorilla could give you a good hug though after a long day.
It'd smash you.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Like
Yeah,
an
that
animal.
would be
I
a
said he had to be
hug.
nice.
He had to be a
Or
gentle.
she.
We can't help how big they are.
Yeah.
They don't
They
even
wouldn't
know their
realize.
own strength.
No, they
Yeah.
have to. What is that one movie where there's the big gorilla?
Mighty Joe Young.
Or King Kong.
Not that one.
King
Okay.
Kong was not a nice gorilla.
King Kong was a nice girl. He was misunderstood completely.
Oh, gosh.
He's completely misunderstood.
He
was in it.
destroyed all of Tokyo?
He was in his environment, okay, and he was
Never
doing
seen
his
it.
thing. Oh,
But he wasn't
Oh.
in his environment.
Yeah, they
because
took
he was
him
in
out.
downtown.
because they took him out. Because now they took him out. He was doing his thing, doing fine.
But that's a majority of animals. If you would just leave animals alone, I feel this way very strongly. If you would just leave animals alone, they would leave you alone.
Yeah, there's
Like
yeah.
they don't actually go around looking for what they can destroy.
Unless they're hungry.
Well, no, but then they're just trying to survive, so just get out of their
Survive-
way.
Yeah,
Like that's the thing. We try to domesticate these things.
yeah, and
and
that's
they're
what they
not
tried to
made
do
be
with King Kong.
domesticated.
No, King Kong was fine over there. He was doing his thing, and next thing you know, they tried to bring
I'd
him
love
over.
to have a silver fox.
Oh, no, that'd be cool.
Let me look one up.
I think a silver fox. The thing about silver fox too would be cool.
These spider monkey things you're talking about are creepy.
Yeah, but they're long and lanky. They'd be like hanging all over you like my kids.
The fox, the silver fox, would be cool because it would lay in your lap. Probably.
Yeah,
It'd probably be.
I would
kinda
love
cool.
to have a fox.
If you sit down long enough to make a lap. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times we don't get to do that. You know what I mean?
Wow, that's
True.
That's true.
Oh wow, those are beautiful.
Yeah,
they're
I
very
like to have a
pretty.
fox. People do have pet foxes.
I know they do.
I have a couple friends that have some foxes.
Yeah.
Well, acquaintances. Because
Yeah.
if they were friends, they'd let me come over.
Sometimes
and
the
play with
smell can be a little gamey. A
them.
little bit of gamey smell.
We live in Washington County. I smell a lot of the gamey smells. So, although we do have
No
a mama deer that's always in the ground behind, like the land behind us,
Aww.
and she always has babies. And I was a little sad because last year she had 3. This year she only has 1.
Aww.
So I think maybe that's just they do that. She
Mhm.
usually always has 2 though.
3 is a lot to keep up with for
Yeah.
her, for the mother deer. You know.
Yeah, and they come.
Yeah, for her.
Becky, you had 6. You can do
I
it.
know, but like for a mom deer, you think about
Mhm.
feeding because I know with sheep.
Well, they eat in my mulberry tree.
Okay.
Like
so-
we actually have pictures of them in our front yard eating on the mulberry tree.
Mhm.
So we just let them.
Yeah.
Or
Well-
watch the dogs, make sure the dogs don't get out.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty cool though. Yeah, they're beautiful for sure, but they're very dangerous too. So.
Deer.
They can be, yes.
Yeah, when they're on the road, yeah, all kinds of
Oh, yes,
accidents and
yes.
stuff. Yeah.
I
So.
thought you meant like
They
That's
love
right.
cars.
No.
Well, I mean, I think they would.
When deers attack.
my
I'd say the
papa's
ones
best
that-
friend had a pet deer like
Yeah.
as a kid, and I would bottle feed it,
Oh.
and it was so sweet.
See now, think about a kangaroo. You know those things. Now those things get aggressive. Those
Yeah,
are,
but that would be another pet I want.
No,
Like, as
kangaroo,
long as
yeah.
it was nice.
I'd
Yeah.
be kicked in the face probably.
like a boxer.
Brindley kicks me in the face. Since it is just like a little kangaroo.
Please make her a kangaroo this year for.
And that is where your daughter there. You're
Oh,
talking. That'd be so
yes.
cute. Aww.
She's a sassy one.
She is.
I love that.
She and Kinley get along
Why does that not surprise me?
spectacular.
Why does that not surprise me? Why does that not surprise me? All right. Well, let's talk a little bit of shop here. Let's talk. We're gonna. So
let's talk shop.
all right. Let's find out what is all going on at Celebrity Home Loans and right here in the Salem area on downtown on the square.
I love when you say downtown Salem, like we're a big city. Well, let's go downtown.
Well, I'm out here in the.
You're
on
like
the
2
outskirts.
miles away.
You know, I'm on the outskirts. I'm out here, way out here. I'm way
I'm on
out
the
here.
other side
I'm
of
out
the
here in the
track.
boonies. I'm out here in the boonies. As I see the Walmart light me
Yeah.
up every night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're out here in the boonies. You know what I mean?
We're
Yeah.
out here. We're
Yeah.
on the ridge.
Come out here. Yeah.
Make sure you have your hacking boots. as you come
That's
into the
exactly
ridge.
right.
Well, you know, we've got paved sidewalks.
Whoa,
in
you
front of our
got you
office and even
fancy.
a ramp.
You fancy because we got that out here. You
Yeah.
very
We
fancy.
ain't got that out here.
Yeah.
So it is, you know, it is July.
Ah.
Typically, this is the time of year that people are scrambling to get into their homes before school starts. So, no surprise, there is a shortage of houses. So things have slowed down a little bit, but that's just part of it. I would say rates are going up, and they will go up again next month. The feds are planning on jumping 75 more bits, so rates are going to go up again. So right now, all of that comes together and makes it very difficult.
Well, and as far as the rates going up, okay, I just want to put it. We kind of got to always go back over this. They have been higher before in years, so
They are still not bad rates.
Yeah.
I mean, they really aren't. We're up to 6%, somewhere
Yeah.
around there. Of course, it depends on program, credit score, down payment, all of that. Still not bad rates. Again, when I started, I don't want to say how long ago because it makes me feel old.
A few years ago.
Yeah. 9-10% was not uncommon. I think my first house payment interest rate was 7 or 8%. I mean, we're still below that. We're still not in bad rates, but with the new home buyers that are coming in, the new first-time home buyers for a few years, they've only known 2 and 3 and 4% interest rates. So when you get up to 5, 6, 7, it's scary.
Yeah,
because they do think, oh my
gosh,
doubled. I'm not going to buy now. But at the same time, I did see something the other day, and
I posted it.
What?
You're talking about my post from Dave Ramsey? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, I was just saying like a little saying I saw, but you
Go ahead and
say your post first because it might be within it. I don't remember.
Well, I've got to find it, so go ahead and say what you're going to say.
But
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
It was just date your rate and marry your mortgage.
Oh, that's not what I was going to say, but that's good.
Wait, date your rate
and marry your mortgage. And what that means is you go ahead and get the mortgage, but then just like anything, like what Autumn was talking about, they do fluctuate. So once the rate goes back down, you're dating your rate, so get a new one.
You can always refinance.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm going to be 100% honest. I was talking with the realtor last night as we were waiting for our kids to get out of football. I don't know that we're going to see rates go back down.
Yeah.
Low where they were.
So it's not a bad idea to go ahead and lock it in. And the best thing is, okay, well, if you lock it in now and it does go up, you feel better about your decision.
Yeah.
As it continues to go up, then you're going to regret not going ahead and doing something. But if you lock this in at 6% and then it goes up to 9%, you're going to feel really good versus getting in a situation where maybe everything rises. Well, your rent does too. Then you wish you would have locked in.
And that's the thing
6%.
too. Your rent is going to raise. But not only that, and I wish I had this with me, but because I've heard people say, oh, I'm waiting for the bottom of the market to fall out before I buy. Or, oh, I'm waiting for things to turn back around before I buy. And it's like, listen, here's the deal. You can always refinance. Like, if all those things happen, yes, you can always refinance. But buying, at one point in time, we were talking about buying a property in Florida, and we just never did because, we have other things that we need to take care of. But
I wish you would have.
Me too, some days. But, with interest rates at 2%, I probably could have went and bought a $350,000, $400,000 home, and my payment would have been less at 2% than what it is buying a $200,000 home at 6%. So even if when the market does shift and we are seeing appraisals come in short and we are, so house values are grossly inflated right now, but it is basic economics of supply and demand. And we've talked about this. We've thrown this out there.
Yeah.
We do not have enough houses for the amount of people who are looking.
Right.
That's just basic economics. You don't have a lot of something, you have a lot of demand, no supply, the prices raise up. Like, that's how it is. So while I am seeing some of that inflation come back down on some of our appraisals, they're not going to drop drastically. You're not going to take a house that's $200,000 and get it for $85,000. I'm sorry. That's not going to happen. Not now, and not in, even with the recession, that's still probably not going to happen. It might go back down to 175, 180, maybe, but it's not going to drop back down.
Right.
So that's the thing. We still are in a housing shortage. And until we start building more houses, you're just still going to be in a basic supply and demand situation.
Right.
So there is that. Rates are continuing to increase. Rates probably should have already been 7-8%.
Right.
To balance out.
Yeah.
And this is what I tell people. Realistically, you're gasping over payments at 6-7%. Please look at your car payment. Please look at your credit card payments. Your interest rate is a lot higher than that.
Generally, line of credits you don't get under 15.
So
Oh, is that right? Yeah.
So
I mean, you can obviously, like, there are some, exceptions, but it's just kind of like a rule of thumb. Most line of credits that you pay on, I would say at least 75% of general line of credits or revolving line, you're going to pay at least 15% on it, on the interest rate.
Oh, wow. So now on the houses that do not come in, let's say that they have an amount and they do not get appraised for that amount. What do they do? Then the homeowner has to bring the house down, the price?
Well, I'll tell you what happens on that. You have 3 options.
We know it all too well.
Behind door number 1, give us
behind door number 1, in best case scenario, yes, you take the appraisal, you send it to the seller, and you say, hey, you wanted, the purchase price was $175, it only came in at $170. Will you lower your purchase price to the appraisal amount?
And the reason being is because all of that ties to your loan to value, which is a term that we have to take into consideration when doing a loan. And it all just comes down to the fact that you don't want a buyer or borrower to be upside down on the equity that they have in their purchase or refi, just in their property, not purchase necessarily.
Yeah. So if your house is only worth $170 and your seller's wanting $175, I'm not going to say you can't buy it, but you are going to bring the difference.
Right.
Okay.
So that's your second option. So the first option, best option, is seller comes back and says, hey, okay, it's only $170. Let's lower the purchase price to $170. It's only worth what I can sell it for.
Yeah.
Type of thing. Second option is your buyer says, man, I really love this house. I'm not even going to ask them to come down. And we have seen this in the last 2 years because of the supply and demand. I'll just pay it. Which I have extreme mixed feelings about, because why would you pay more for something than what it is worth? But when you have been looking for 6 months and you're tired of being homeless, then you might. I have had that happen. There was one situation that I did have that happen and it made sense. The appraisal came in and it was only $1,000 short. So I'm talking $1,000 difference, but there was a hot tub, there was a huge garage. That those things they don't give as much of a return value as what it costs to build them, type of thing. But it was worth it to her. She's like, I want it, and I will pay the extra $1,000 to get those things.
Well, and some stuff like the cosmetic stuff that somebody might really like, the value of that isn't taken into consideration. Like it's
right, it's cosmetic.
Not appraised.
Yeah.
So like if you really like that about the property, and she's like, I wouldn't change anything. This is how I do it anyways. It makes sense, to pay that.
And that's what I tell people when you are remodeling your house in the thought to sell. I have had people tell me, well, we just remodeled the kitchen. We put granite countertops, and I just put a brand new $10,000 roof. That should increase my value. Well, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Because I've talked to appraisers about this. You are expected to have a roof on your house.
Yeah.
You are expected to have countertops in your kitchen.
Yeah.
And if you chose to do granite versus laminate, that's money that you are out. And that's what, and we've talked about this before. If you're going to remodel and you want those things because you're going to live there and that's
important to you,
then do it. But if you are doing it because you are trying to get the most out of your return, you're not going to get a return on that like you're thinking. So you putting a $10,000 roof on your house is not going to increase your appraised value by $10,000. You're expected to have a roof.
Right.
Now it's going to make it more appealable.
Yes.
Your curb appeal, that is more valuable. It's more, if you have a buyer who has your house with a new roof and a similar house that the roof is 10 years old, they're probably going to go with your house, but it's not going to make your appraisal more.
Right.
Now, on the flip side, you may have a buyer that says, hey, it came in $2,000 short, but I know the roof is new, I'll pay it.
Right.
So that's a very fine line to walk.
Well, and I know another thing is like I always see like you look at listings and stuff, and they're they obviously say everything that would make the house, like Autumn said, appealing. So just like she said, with windows and a roof and HVAC and all that,
I expect you to have that. It's not going to increase your appraisal. It says
like brand new this, brand new this, brand new, like this is just updated in this. Well, at the end of the day, no, it doesn't really affect the value. But at the same time, from a buyer's perspective, maybe that was the situation. The lady thought, well, I can put $1,000 down because it does have,
All new
updated
stuff.
windows, and I don't have to turn around and expect in 2
Right.
years to replace these things.
Yes.
Right.
So, that is, while it doesn't raise the value, it is something to still keep into perspective.
Right.
And we do discuss that
Yeah.
because I am never one, and I will tell people this, I really do not mind to sit with people and talk to them, but I really hate when I get messages, well, what should I do? Well, I
Yeah.
can't tell you what to do.
Yeah.
Right.
absolutely
Like,
not.
please don't ask me what you should do. Let's talk about it, and I'll talk your options out with you. But
Mhm.
at the end of the day, the decision is yours.
Right.
Yes,
Exactly.
Like, I
absolutely.
can't
Yeah.
tell you
Yeah.
what to do. I
Yeah.
can give you
Yeah.
your options.
Yeah.
This is why, side note, this is why it's very important to let your kids learn how to make decisions
Mhm.
when they are young, so that when they are older, they're not asking somebody else to make their decisions.
Yeah,
for
we're
Right.
them.
so intimidated by a decision that is truly going to affect them.
Yes.
Right.
So that's your second option. Sometimes the buyers will do that. And I have seen purchase agreements. I have had purchase agreements come across my desk that says buyer agrees to pay up to X amount over appraised value.
Oh gosh, yeah, especially like within 2021.
It's
and
so competitive.
Wait, say that again now.
So
It's-
we have had, like, the market has been so competitive, and this is what I don't think people realize. So, like, unless you're in the market looking, this is what people don't realize, and
Right.
this is why I really stress the market. The bottom is not going to fall out of the market. Like, it's not going to happen. If anything, we are still in a huge shortage.
Mhm. Mhm.
But we have literally had purchase agreements come across our desk. Let's say, hey, we agree to offer $200,000, and the buyer will pay up to $10,000 above appraised value. So I'm offering you $200,000, but if the appraisal only comes in at $190,000, I'll still pay you $200,000. I'll go up to $10,000 over appraised value if it doesn't appraise, because that's how demanding the market has been.
Mhm.
That's
Which is nuts to me, that part.
You know,
I know. Yeah.
But
yeah.
when you have
Yeah.
people who have the money and they've been looking for a home and they're tired of living in somebody's basement,
Well, and another thing is at the time that you think about it, let's say someone's rent is $1,000 a month. $10,000, well, that's only 10 months of their rent versus now that's going to a home that's theirs, not someone else's
Yeah.
mortgage anyways. So that's another thing to look at it. Like,
No,
it
I
is
don't-
nuts.
I don't recommend it.
No, I
You
mean,
know,
it is,
But I've
like,
seen it done
crazy.
actually on a lot of your, like, if you watch like the home
Yes,
shows
yeah.
and stuff. Like,
Well,
you
and
know,
I'm not so sure. Maybe that's not where they got the idea. But
well, yeah.
sometimes
somebody's-
HGTV early, I can't even watch it. It just irritates me. But
Gets in people's heads.
it does.
well, and then
Or
every
like that House Hunter show where it's like, oh, well, I've looked at 3 and I didn't like any of them, so I guess I don't need to buy a home. Well, realistically, you are going to go look at more than 3 homes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Well, and then you go, and the thing that I'm at with that is they I just lost my train of thought, but you go, and I guess you're looking for the home, and then they give you a price, and then they oh, well, pay over that, what I mean?
yeah.
And I think that is kind of, I know what I was going to say. This I was going to say. The thing that gets me to is in the home improvements, they're never told no, like you can't do this or you shouldn't do this. They always make it work, and that's not necessarily
Well,
reality.
if you have enough money, anything can work.
I guess so.
And that's the thing. You've got to keep in mind that
That's
when
what-
you are working with Hollywood Magic, there's a lot of money involved.
It just still to the person in reality.
Yeah.
Like, because like if you go to do something, let's say, because you go to do something in your house, or Autumn, you go to do something in your house, and you go and they say, oh, this can't be done. It's a low bearing wall, or, or whatever you have to do, and
Yeah.
a lot of times you get that, or kind of design it this way or do this.
Yeah.
But
You can take out a low bearing wall. You just better be putting a beam up to
Exactly.
I
support
don't know
it.
what a
Yeah.
low-bearing wall is.
A low bearing wall is one of the main wall supports in your home that keeps your roof from caving in.
Good to know.
Yeah, so we actually took out 2 load bearing walls in our house, one upstairs and one downstairs. But we had to
so
put,
Justin told you yes.
well, it was Justin's idea, and you're doing the work. I don't care.
Wow.
But so we had to go get LBL beams, huge long beams, and we had to put one up in the ceiling rafters to protect. And then when we went downstairs and took that wall out, we had to, of course, my husband, he's very, very particular. Probably could have used 1. He has 3. It's okay.
No,
So-
I love that though.
so
No, I'd rather
we
go.
had to
Love the
go.
extra support.
Yeah,
And I'm not
really.
gonna lie, I was really mad when he bought them because I stepped over them for like 3 years.
Oh.
I'm like, why do we spend the money on this if it's just sitting here? Why didn't
gonna
we
happen.
wait? But when we did finally do it, I was so thankful because they had quadrupled in price.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
what we paid
Oh,
for
yeah.
all of them was less than what now one beam is.
Yeah. Definitely.
And so I was like, I will never complain again. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like-
There was a reason you did that.
That's right.
Yeah, and
Let the man work.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you can, but it is not easy and it is very expensive.
Yeah.
But on the show, they break the commercial and come back and it's done.
Yes.
And that's where it's little.
And I also hate, like, I was watching
Yeah.
one, I don't remember what show it was, but they
Like,
were
what
doing
went on there?
Yeah.
they were doing all of this stuff, and like the price just kept going higher and higher. Like,
Yeah.
oh well, we run, and I'm like, I appreciate the fact that you ran into this issue and you're showing that,
Right.
But what I don't appreciate the fact is your borrowers or your home buyers or whatever, they're just like, oh okay, well we'll just pay it. And it ended up being like $35,000
Oh,
more. And it's like,
my.
how many people have $35,000 that they can just be
Yeah.
like, oh, it's okay. We'll
And
just
even if
take
they
care of
do
it.
have it, like usually they're not like, oh, that's fine. Like we understand. It's
Yeah,
like,
and there's
what do you
no,
mean?
Yeah.
there's no give and take. It's not like, oh, okay, well, this cost me extra, so I have to give up
Yeah.
this. You
Yeah.
know, what I
Yeah.
wanted, I have to give up maybe my island in my kitchen because we have termite damage.
Yeah.
It's, oh, we get everything we want. Well, that's not reality.
No.
Yeah.
Like, come on, that's
Back
not reality.
to life. Back to reality.
I don't know that song, but
Anyway.
you're doing good.
It's a great song.
Oh.
The third thing, back to our original.
Listen.
So the third thing, so you can either A, have the seller come down
Yes.
to the sales price or to the appraised value. So seller comes down to appraised value. B, buyer pays extra, or you have a dead deal.
That's C. C is dead.
Yeah,
Not gonna happen
is
today.
the,
We're not ordering the junk food. We're not celebrating.
yeah. So that is,
Share your post. That was good.
I'm going to. I was, my grandma just messaged me and was like, "Okay, are we having dinner?"
Okay, she's actually who?
Tonight. My
Oh.
grandma.
Oh, I love that.
Tonight we're meeting
Oh,
tonight.
I love that.
So those
What
are
are we
the
having?
three options. Chinese.
Okay.
But I did share a post. This has been going around. We have shared with Dave Ramsey before.
Yeah, I love that. Yes. We actually had a representative, remember?
Yes, we did. We did. And
She was
while
awesome.
I do believe in some of his methods, you know,
Mhm.
we have also talked. Sometimes he can be a little outdated
Sometimes it's
on
not
some things.
practical in today's world.
It's not. And so, but he does have good advice. The man does know what he's talking about.
Mhm,
Yeah.
definitely.
So he has shared a quote, says, right now is the best time to buy a house in the next 5 years. So again, we're in the next 5 years. Right now is the best time still to buy a home.
Yeah.
Here's why. Prices are not gonna go down. They're gonna go up slower. So you're not going to see that quick inflation that we have seen in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
But they're not going to go down. And so 5 years from today, houses are going to be more expensive. So this is the best price right now if you're going to buy a house.
Mhm.
I'm also going to say right now is the best time you are going to get a lower rate. If interest rates come back down, refinance.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
date your rate,
Rate-
marry
marry
your
your
mortgage.
mortgage.
But don't not buy waiting on interest rates to come down.
Right.
Because even if we go into a recession, and this is what, this is the thing you got to tell people. Even when we go into a recession, because we've been saying this, we are going into a recession. That is not new. Like, we are.
What was that? And I want okay, go ahead. I want to put a bookmark there. 'Cause I wanna
Okay,
come back
put a
to that.
bookmark there. But we're going to go into a recession probably. That has been.
Mhm.
So even if you do that, rates should already be where they're at.
Yeah.
Like, we kind of kicked ourselves in the butt by
Yes.
the issue was, instead of bringing them up slowly like we should have,
Mhm.
they knee-jerk reacted
Yeah.
multiple times
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah.
But that's what they did when they brought them down too, and that's why it was such a shock. I feel like, and everybody's like, "Oh my god!"
Right. But so what I'm going to say on that is, right now, you're still in a shortage.
Yeah.
So right now is the time to buy the houses that are there. And again, if interest rates do fall back, which I personally don't believe they will, then you can always refinance.
Mhm.
Like, that's fine. but we should have been here the whole time anyway. This
Mhm.
is where we should
This is like
be.
the prime rate. Like we're gonna have to come up with some historical data to support, but
Well, we have it. I just don't have it with me. Dennis
no, I know
does
that's
all
what
that.
I'm saying.
But I mean, this is where we should be in
Right.
interest rate.
Mhm.
6-7% is where you should be.
Yeah.
But buy your home now. And even like this is what I tell even loan officers, because if any loan officer has been in it for any time, this is not new. Like, I'm not worried about this. We've seen this. Our economy goes up and down, up and down. Like, that is historical. You can see it. But the people that you refinanced over the last 3 years, like, we had a lot of loan officers that came in just in the last 3 years, because there for a little bit, it was just like money hand over fist. Oh, I'm doing 20 loans in a month. I'm doing, 50 loans. Well, yeah, but you've already refinanced all those people down to 2%, so they're not going to refinance again.
Mm-hmm.
So realistically, even if rates do go back down, your purchase business might come up. Your refinance, probably not, because everybody who already has a mortgage is already there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so stop. Just stop living in your glory heyday, and let's look towards the future.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Very interesting.
That's my public service announcement.
Right. Well, no, it's really a lot to to understand. And so, a recession, what would that look for us? Like, what would most of us, the common person, what will we see in a recession? Kind of going back, of course, you never know.
We've had recessions throughout, all of history.
Right.
And there's a part of me that part of the recession is supposedly it's always a big loss of jobs, which some people, I am seeing now that some of that manufacturing and things have been, again, pulled from U.S. soil and now sent out. I know there are certain factories in town that you're not getting any overtime anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, and Dennis has said this multiple times, and I do have to agree with him. This happened in the 70s and 80s. You didn't lose your job.
Right.
You lost your overtime.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why we preach to people. And I have people that come in and they're angry because I can't use their bonus or overtime. Well, if you don't have a history of 2 years, I can't use it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't like to use your bonus and overtime in your qualification, because what if you lose it?
Yeah.
Because even then, in 2020 and 2021, if you're looking at that, then you might have had overtime, because if you think about it, that's when everybody,
no one wanted to work.
Yeah, no one wanted to work. They were getting the stimulus and different stuff. There was the care packages. So in 2021, maybe they did have overtime, and now we can use that. But guess what? In 2022, they're stopping it, and so you no longer have that extra cushion.
And that's why I don't like to use it.
Yeah, you don't want that included in your mortgage if really you're not getting it and you can't afford it without it.
Right. And to just safety. Don't, and we preach this. Don't be house poor. Live within your means. I tell people, live below your means.
Mm-hmm.
If you're making, live below your means. So if you're making $30 an hour or $18, if you're making, let's say 18, because that's probably more realistic around this area. You're making $18 an hour. Let's set your life on living on $12 an hour. Let's put everything to where you're, this is on a budgeting standpoint, not a housing standpoint.
Right.
So let's do that based on $12 an hour. And then you have some freedom and you're not living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And this is a very unpopular opinion, but you do not need a $300 a month cell phone bill at all.
No.
And again, this very unpopular opinion, gaming, internet, those are not necessities. Those are wants. And we do have some situations where, to a degree now, we live in a society where internet is a necessity. Like, we cannot do our job without internet.
Right.
We can't.
Sure.
But you do not need the Mac Daddy package of internet.
Right.
That is not a necessity.
Right.
That is a want. Your brand new, like, I love getting my nails done. Don't get me wrong. I love to go sit and let them do my nails. But you know what? That's not a necessity. And when things are getting a little tight, guess who's doing their own nails?
Right.
They actually don't get done at all. But
but it sounds good. Yeah.
Those, you have to make some lifestyle changes.
Yes.
I'm not eating out as much. It's not that I suddenly received a love of cooking.
Right.
It's because
that sure ain't. it for me.
But realistically, life has changed. I mean, the
Right.
market has slowed down.
Mhm.
I can't live the way I was living 3 years ago
Right.
and expect things to stay. Like, you have to be conscientious of your budget
Yeah.
Mhm.
and where you're at. Camissa had a customer come in and we were looking at their credit score, and their credit score was low sixes. And so I'm like, why? No collections, no bankruptcies, nothing like that. Why is our score so low? Well, because they had 2, 3 credit cards and they were all maxed out.
Yeah.
Mm.
And
Nothing late,
Yeah.
nothing late, no derogatory credits.
Yeah.
But you have a low credit score because you're maxing things out on your credit cards because you're living beyond your means. And it affects your score.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And not only that, it affects your lifestyle.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, and at the end of the day, it affects what you can get qualified for and what else.
Yeah,
you can
and you know what? I promise you're paying more than a 6% interest rate on those credit cards.
Oh, and they're department store cards, so probably over 20% if we're
Yeah.
being honest.
Yeah.
Department store
Ah.
cards, yeah. That's
So-
one thing. Check your department store cards and your interest rates you're paying on them.
Or don't get them.
I don't
But if you
know.
have them,
Yeah,
check your interest rates.
yeah.
Those are probably the first ones you want to pay off.
And
Yeah.
again, I'm going to violate Dave Ramsey opinion on this. Get a credit card,
Mm-hmm.
but don't work for it. Make it work for you.
Yeah.
Do not become a slave to your credit.
Mm-hmm.
It is a tool.
Yeah.
And like any tool, you need to know how to properly use it. I am not going to let my child go mow the yard without teaching them how to use lawnmower properly.
Mhm. Mhm.
It could be dangerous.
It can
Just
kill
like their
them.
credit score. It can be dangerous.
So-
the game of credit.
I am not going to say, go get a credit card, open it up. No. Let's talk about how credit works. Let's
Right.
talk about why it is important to have a credit history. Now, personally, I prefer credit card lines because you can balance and manage those payments and
Mhm.
balances better than a personal loan. A personal loan, you borrow a lump sum of money, you have a lump monthly payment for a set amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
That's great if you stink at budgeting.
Mm-hmm.
It's great if you cannot manage your own bills, if you cannot say, oh, I have a credit card in my pocket, but I don't have to use it.
Mm-hmm.
If you are one, money burns a hole in your pocket, you have a credit card, that's what you're swiping every time, don't get a credit card.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
That's when I'm going to say, don't get a credit card because you're not responsible. And you may not like that, but that's the truth.
Mhm.
So if you're going to build credit, get a personal loan. Then you do have a set monthly payment. At least you're making your payments and you are establishing history.
Right.
But you have to be responsible. And we're in a day and age where no one wants to be responsible for themselves.
Yeah.
Be responsible for yourself. Be a
Right.
responsible adult.
Yeah. Good. No, those are good advice. Good
Yeah.
and good reminders too. Good food for thought for sure. And sometimes we just need to hear all that. I mean,
Yes,
people need to
that's
hear
the
that.
thing,
Yeah.
It's hard. It's not easy. I'm not going to tell you it's easy,
No.
but it is possible.
Yeah.
And again, at the end of the day, you were created to do hard things.
Right.
So don't whine about it. Just do it
Yeah. There you go.
And
Well,
feel better once it's done.
and
Well,
feel better once it's done.
And Dennis has been
accomplishment.
saying this. I mean, he has been saying this for months. I mean, anybody that's listened to him, I feel like, of course, Autumn has not seen Jaws, but whenever the
Not seen
when
Jaws.
Jaws went into the pond and the girls hollering shark, shark, shark. You've not seen Jaws either? Okay. All right.
We really do need our hot girl summer.
Yeah, I'm telling you
watching
right now.
Jaws.
Yeah, we've got to do this. Anyway, my point is Dennis has been, hopefully everybody's been listening to that because he's been talking about that coming down the pipeline and to make adjustments.
Mhm.
You don't have to he said, he's not
Don't
practicing
panic.
fear.
Yeah.
You're not practicing, for
But
anybody to
be
get,
prepared.
yeah, just, and like you said, do a little bit of changes,
Yeah.
little changes, just
Yeah.
on tightening up a little bit. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, and really, it's just due diligence. Again, I honestly, I don't know, depending on who you listen to. Justin and I have conversations because he listens to people and I listen to people. And I am a very big, I don't practice fear. I don't spread fear. Like at the end of the day, and I
Right.
do want to put this out, at the end of the day, even if we have a repeat, because I have heard people be like, oh, it's going to be just like a second Great Depression.
Mm.
And I have heard people say that. And that
I absolutely have.
Yeah.
Okay, well, here's
that's,
the deal.
That's not nice.
if that, God forbid, if that is what we're looking at, it's a second Great Depression. You know what? People live through the Great Depression.
Exactly.
And you will make it through this.
Mhm.
Like, that's the thing. You can't go into any situation in life
Yeah.
with the mindset of I'm already defeated.
Yeah. Exactly.
People survive. Now, does that mean
Now,
that?
can I say this? You will know David and Goliath, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, that's not a movie, it's biblical.
No, I know. I just want to make sure that.
Yeah, but that's
No, but I mean, what I'm saying, you have to go with the confidence. You have to go with
Yes.
that. You know what I mean? That mindset.
that is people have made it through. Now, does that mean that you may have to start a little garden and learn some new skills?
I want to start a garden,
Maybe.
but Brady says no. Probably because my flowers are dead.
Probably. I mean,
we talked about that.
but like that's the thing.
Then we have
I'm
to
not
water our gardens,
saying
too.
you will not have to make lifestyle changes. But you know what? You're able, the good news is you are able to make lifestyle changes.
Absolutely.
It is possible.
Yeah.
You're not a helpless victim. You are not destroyed. You are not
Words
down
of
and
wisdom.
out. You are not like
It'll be going to
You
be
Rise
walk
okay.
away
up.
feeling more
Yeah.
fulfilled because you realize, oh my gosh, like
I can do this.
do all this
That's
on my
right.
maybe
own.
you're
Yeah.
going to eat beans
Yeah.
and rice for a couple meals a week. It's okay.
Oh, I hate beans.
It's not going to kill you
No.
unless you're allergic to beans
I'll
and
have to
rice,
put
and then
sour
I'm
cream
What
sorry.
if you put some cornbread?
But yes, I'm not saying. So
Went
you
from
asked
caramel
me.
popcorn to cornbread.
You
With
asked
beans.
me what a recession looks like for people. That
Fried
may be what it
potatoes?
looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's good because I don't want, and I have to agree. I hope that the takeaway for sure this morning is please don't
Don't
be
panic.
fearful. Yeah,
Don't
and
be
don't panic.
fearful.
Don't be fearful. I just want people. I want people
But
to
be
live,
prepared.
have a good life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And don't be, with that anxiety and that I don't think that should be pounded. And I think
Right.
sometimes that's being pounded at us. And I think let's just slow it down. It's going to be okay.
I
hope that's.
very well.
No, I don't like it either, and I don't like that. I think that's very not nice to do to people.
Yeah.
I do think that mainly it is all just establishing a fine line between. I think a lot of people lately are like, well, I'm living for today. I'm not going to worry as much about tomorrow. And
Well, that's stupid.
that's great. Like you can be present in today, but that doesn't necessarily mean go spend exactly what you want. Go shop and have
Yeah.
all these nice things.
Right.
Because there are still consequences. You do still have a liability to pay those.
Sure.
And that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
It's just like Autumn said, live below your means.
Live
and
below your means.
Kind of idle for a bit. Just ride it out.
Well, and this is what I tell people, because really, when we qualify you, I'm only qualifying you at 40% of your income anyway.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And honestly, most of the time we're like, where does the other 60% go?
Taxes. I know where it goes. Don't ask me. It goes to taxes.
Taxes, yeah,
I won't get on that bird.
that's a whole nother show.
That's something else. Well,
But I
it's
do
something
think,
I won't say on the
and
radio.
I think if somebody is thinking of, possibly looking into purchasing a home or changing a little bit, doing with their home some information and find out if they even if this is financially suitable for them, I definitely suggest for them to come talk to the professionals at Celebrity Home Loans.
Well, I'm going to throw this out here real fast because I did, I love memes. And I saw a meme that said, I think it should be a law that if I've been paying $1,200 a month in rent, then I can afford more than a $750 a month house payment. Which I understand what that's saying because, oh my goodness, rent is so expensive. But I'm going to also throw this because sometimes I want, and I know we're out of time, but I'm going to say this real fast. Sometimes I want to respond to those memes that, well, if your credit sucks and
Because you couldn't afford a $1,250.
no,
Rent?
but if your credit sucks, I don't have to loan you money, and that's the cost of having poor credit. So get your credit in line, and then you can be paying a $750 a month house payment and not $1,200 a month rent.
Yep.
Like, I'm sorry, but
Right.
people don't have to loan you money just because you've been making a payment.
Yep.
Right.
Because if you're making that house payment, hey, that's great. But if you're letting everything else fall to the wayside, then that shows me that
And there's a
you can't
reason
manage
for that
it.
score. Everyone always just said, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, but it does.
And
There's
there
a
are
reason.
people that come in. Well, that's not my score.
Yep.
I'm looking at it right here.
Yeah.
And as much as I hate to say, now
You're in control. You're
there
driving.
are certain situations, identity theft.
Yeah. sure.
I've had parents who have
Medical
opened things
emergencies.
in kids' names that the kids never did, and so there are some situations.
Right.
But the majority of the time, well, if you have a running 30-day late, that's not the credit bureau's fault. That's your fault.
Mhm.
Your credit is a direct reflection on you.
Right.
Now, we can clean it up. There's nothing we can't clean up, but it is
Always remember that.
it's you.
Yeah.
Be responsible.
Yeah.
Also, responsibility and thankfulness to our sponsors.
Yes. Our
Our
responsibility.
responsibility. Meadowview Healthcare, Walmart, Salem Crossing, Hoosier Upland, Celebrity Home Loan.